How are we getting on, people? Luke here from LAGFX. As you can see on screen, I am actually in the middle of editing the video that you guys are about to watch. It's a new YouTube series called Podversations, and it is basically where me and James, or me and a guest, will be covering certain topics that may not be forex related, but topics where we can allow our ideas to flow and curiosity can meet conversations. So in today's episode, me and James are going to be discussing personal growth and development, and we're going to be exploring strategies for self-improvement, setting goals, overcoming challenges, and finding motivation to do the things that we want to do. Now, I hope you guys enjoy, and if you do, please leave this video a thumbs up. All the support you guys provide is very much appreciated. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight into today's Podversations video. In terms of personal growth and development, I mean, let's talk personally on us as people. I think that would be a good place to start, and then maybe we could fire off with some advice for those who are wanting to seek personal growth in their own life.
100%.
So, I mean, you fire away. I'll let you go first.
I can waffle for days, can't I? I can waffle. I mean, I guess the way I view life is like, imagine there's a hill. Imagine there's a hill that peaks at the top, yeah? Bit of a mountain, and there's a ball on the top of this hill, okay? And the thing is, this ball can never be stationary. It either has to go forward or go backwards, in my eyes, which basically means you either have to break a comfort zone or do something new or challenge yourself, in which case you're developing, moving forward. Or if you're not, and you're not challenging yourself, you're not learning something new, I believe you go backwards. So for me, a big thing is definitely, are you the type of person who is always trying new things, always looking to develop yourself, better yourself, network with people? I think breaking comfort zones is probably the most important thing you can do as an individual. Actually, let's just call this your CZ. Yeah, your comfort zone's here. Oh my God, it's trying to... Okay, right, just bear with me. It's an awful diagram, right? This is your comfort zone.
What the is going on?
This is your comfort zone, right? Just bear with. So this is your comfort zone. If I say to you, Luke, I want you to go and do a skydive solo tomorrow, what are you going to say to me?
Let's do it.
Genuinely though, you'd be like,
I would be all for it. I'm all about getting out of the comfort zone.
right,
Say no.
what would you not like to do? If I told you to get in front of a crowd of 1,000 people and sing Hannah Montana, what would you say?
Yeah, I'd say no. I'm all right.
You'd say no, yeah, because where does this task lay?
Outside my comfort zone.
Outside your comfort zone, yeah, it's up here, yeah. But if you were to be ballsy enough to say, you know what, I'm going to give it a go, what happens?
You're going out of your comfort zone.
You do what to your comfort zone?
Get rid of that comfort zone.
You break it, right? You break it. So this now gets broken. And what happens is each time you do it through repetition, what's slowly going to happen is your zone is going to then expand to this, right?
Yeah.
Because now this task that I once asked you to do, and you're like, no, that's nerve-wracking, right? Because of course it is. Getting in front of 100 people and do something you've never done, right? Of course. But through repetition, what happens is your comfort zone grows and grows and grows until eventually that task is within your comfort zone. Okay, because for something to be in your comfort zone, it has to be autonomous. Something like, waking up and brushing your teeth would originally have been inside of this area.
Yeah.
Okay, because you've done it that many times, it's just autonomous. So eventually, once you've done this task that many times, again, it becomes what?
Becomes autonomous.
Yeah. So what's happened here is when your comfort zone's grown to this size, what do you think's happened in that process?
You're growing as a person, aren't you? You're developing as a person.
Yeah, you're developing as a person. You've gained confidence. You now feel as if you can do more because you've already shown yourself that you can do a challenging task, and therefore the process of breaking that comfort zone again seems less daunting because you've done it already.
Exactly that. Yeah.
So this just increases exponentially.
It's a good analogy. It's a good
diagram time with James. Yeah, diagram time.
I think more than anything, I think to take away from this is to seek challenges. Not only should you be doing things that are outside your comfort zone, but to seek new challenges. In doing so, you're going to be motivated, as you say, and you're going to become more confident in your ability to take on tasks that maybe you don't have the knowledge or you don't have the confidence to do originally. Do you know what I mean? Personal growth and development is definitely something that is undermined, and I think it shouldn't be. I think this. I mean, what would you say? Would you say that it lies under a lack of drive?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, today's society, mate, how we like, okay.
People are so content and happy with the bare minimum. Do you know what I mean? And I think,
It's not
that's
even
what
that.
lacks in most people is more than anything is the motivation and the drive to be better and do better.
Let me tell you what it is.
What?
The amount of people I speak to nowadays, especially between the ages of 18 to 22, right? And the first thing you figure out is, what's your goal? What do you think they all say is their goal?
I don't know. I don't know these
Financial
people.
freedom. Every single one of them,
Really?
the words
They
financial
do
freedom.
nothing to get there.
Okay? Yeah. So, and then I ask, after I've said, what's your goal? They say financial freedom. I then ask, what's your plan to attain that? What do you think they say?
Nothing.
No idea.
So it's taken action. So this leads on to the next point. So it's as you say, it's probably the motivation, the drive to do these things, but also take an action. And I say this all the time to people. I was saying this to Josh, a personal friend of ours, the other day. He was going through some personal issues, and I was like, how do we go about solving this? How do we go about resolving this issue that we have? And do you want to know what the answer is? And he said, what? Take action. I was like, take action. You're not happy with something, go and take action, go and do something about it. He's recently, I spoke to him the other day, and he's really happy, and he's like, yeah, I just need to start taking action rather than sitting there dwelling, saying I want to do this, saying I want to do that, just actually going and doing it. And I think that is definitely something that people of this day and age need to be doing more of, just taking action.
100%. Yeah, and there's a real lack of that because obviously I've been running some group sessions with 25 to 30 people, and one thing I ask all of them is, what your goal? And that's how I figured out that most people are going along the lines of financial freedom, being rich, all of this. And then when you do ask them what's the plan, they say nothing, and then make a joke and say, well, what's everyone's screen time on TikTok? And I get a few people to show me. I put them on the spot, and I'm seeing people with 11 hours a day on apps like this. And it's like, well, why do you think you're not taking action? Because there's a real problem. And I'm going to say a phrase here that is going to resonate with you. People want to do less work than our ancestors and gain so much more from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to do so much less to gain so much more.
Yeah. Well, again, this leads on to, I think people are looking for a shortcut, you know what I mean? And unfortunately in business, in anything, there's no shortcuts.
Never.
And I think if you're trying to seek shortcuts, you may have like the small wins from this, but it's nothing that's going to be longevity, because when you then come to a challenge, or you come to something that's difficult, something that needs to be overcome, you've gone through shortcuts, you've not gone through the hard route, you know what I mean?
Like, set solid foundations.
Exactly that. And this is the issue with this day and age. As you say, people are just wanting to make all this money and wanting to be successful, wanting to have financial freedom, but they're not willing to put the work in. And this resonates quite well with forex. I have so many people, I speak to numerous people on a day-to-day basis, as me and you both do. As you said, a lot of people want this financial freedom, but they don't want to put the work in. Now, as an example of this, on a day-to-day basis, I get people saying to me, oh, I want to make £200-300 a day. I want to make £1,000 a week. I want to do this. I want to do that through forex, but they're not willing to put the work in to learn how to actually trade. Do you know what I mean? And how do you expect to be successful in a field when you know nothing about it? Do you know what I mean? And this leads to, like, I've got family who are doctors, and they went to university for 7 years to become doctors, and then they did training, and then they did this, and then they did that, and eventually they got the job that they wanted. Myself, I've been trading for 7 years. It's a graph that I'm still trying to master. It's something I'm still trying to master, and it all comes with time. And I think people just don't have the patience, the drive, or the ambition to do this. So if anything from this rant that I've gone on with is have ambition, have drive, and be committed. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you really want to seek financial freedom, do something about it, take action, rather than just sitting there dwelling, oh, I want to make quick cash. Go and do something about it.
Yeah, it's just because of and the thing is, a lot of people have shafted it for society, because when you go on your phone now and you load up social media, what's the first thing that you see?
How to make £500 in 30 minutes.
There you go. Yeah. You hit the nail on. Yeah, it's because from the
False
advertising
advertising.
that can be done through these social media platforms, obviously, of course, if you want to advertise your business, you are going to employ sales techniques, of course, to get people to sign on and, and not mislead them. I don't want to say people are being misled, because I'm not trying to, talk on other people. That's not the case. But just take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. But yeah, I guess people are being misled because they are seeing these adverts which are claiming you can do X, Y, Z, or you even
Yeah.
see figures who, let's say you right now were to post all of your results day in, day out, everything that you're doing, people are going to see that and be like, oh, cool, he's here. But they've not seen the 7 years of work to get to that.
Right.
So then
Exactly.
they suddenly just think, oh, I can get there because he's there.
Yeah, as you say, a lot of it may be down to misleading information. And as you say, even when I put things out there, oh, this is how, like, I've literally just recorded a top trades of the week video, and I'm gonna title it, "This is how I made $6 grand from one position." But people think, oh well, if I do that exact same trade, I can make that exact same amount of money. Well, that's not the case. I've taken years and years and years to compound an account to have the account size that I've got in order to place positions and make that kind of money from a trade. So I understand where you're coming from when you say that there may be some kind of, maybe not misleading as such, but misguided information.
I would use the phrase false expectations.
False expectations. Very good.
It comes down to one or two things. It's literally false expectations and people's inability now to understand delayed gratification. That's all it is.
That was it. That was it. So
That's it.
when we scroll through TikTok and we watch these videos that are screaming at us and giving us that instant gratification, do you not think that's having an impact on
Massively.
our drive and our, you know what I mean? You see what
Our
I'm saying?
brains have been reprogrammed for instant gratification. We want things now, and especially through apps such as TikTok, where if something's not giving you a quick enough hit of excitement and dopamine, what can you do?
Scroll and go to the
Go to the
next.
next. Yeah,
And
yeah,
this,
yeah. And then you're waiting to
this,
find one that catches your attention big enough, which is why you'll see with TikTok videos, what do they do in the first few seconds?
there's always something to hook you, isn't there? There's always a hook. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're trying to hook you. So
I think
our brains have been wired into,
exactly, and I think that's probably having an impact on jobs in jobs now. People
look at
don't
CVs.
don't see instant gratification from their job. They're not getting results straight away. They're not getting those promotions that they want straight away. So they go, oh, screw this, I'm going to go on to the next thing. And this is what I mean. People's commitment to their jobs, their life, whatever it may be, the gym, healthy eating is near to non-existent because probably of social media. You know what I mean? Things like TikTok and YouTube and things of that nature is definitely reprogramming our brains to operate in a different way. And so I think people need to refrain. I mean, I don't even go on social media that much. I'll be completely honest with you. Do you know what I'm going to do now? Actually, I'm actually going to see what my screen time is. Let's have a look at this.
I've not been on TikTok in a very long time.
I'm gonna
One
have a
for
look at my screen time, and as long as it's not embarrassing, I've gone on now and said all this and watched it be like. So
let's have a look.
oh, here we go. Mine's actually really good.
Yeah, my social media is minimal for me.
I'm gonna put a screenshot up of my screen time for this week and today, and you can see that mine is actually less than 5 hours. Well, less than 6 hours, pretty much every single day. My screen time.
Mine is 3 hours 50 minutes, and over a third of that was from WhatsApp, which is used for work.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and
I
maps,
mean,
Google
a
Maps
lot
as
of
well.
my screen time is either
Yeah.
it's either YouTube or which is for work or Telegram. Yeah, Telegram.
Yeah, not much going on there. Not much going on. Yeah.
So
So
I mean, I think that's like proof in itself, isn't it? People who kind of, like obviously my partner, she will say, "Oh, I sent you this on Instagram before. I sent you this on TikTok," and it's like, "Have you seen it?" And I'm like, "No," because I try and avoid actually going on social media. Do you know what
yeah,
I
it's
mean?
not good. It's an easy trap to fall into. Easy trap to
The,
fall
the
into.
only the only time on social media is when I'm posting something myself, either for
Mhm.
work or for personal things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, I think
it's
that's
not that
something
often,
that
is
people
it?
should avoid is
Yeah.
maybe spend more time actually learning a new skill rather than scrolling on Instagram.
That would definitely be more useful. Yeah, 100%. I mean, how do we even loop this back and round up the point? I guess the point being, I started off saying you're either going forwards or backwards in life. There's never stationary. There is never stationary, no matter what you're led to believe. That there's never stationary. You're either going forwards or backwards. And I think, as you said, the best way to go forwards is break comfort zones, learn new skills. But in order to do these things, there has to be some level of commitment.
Yeah.
There has to be some level of delayed gratification, that you're willing to put some work in now for a future result later. And I think, I hope this isn't too controversial of an opinion, but that's why religions were created, because it gave a belief of, I can
Give
put in
people
work
purpose.
now to be rewarded later.
Yeah.
And that's why religions still and were so heavily believed. Maybe not as much in recent years. I know the percentages of people following such religions have decreased. But again, that was always done throughout time. And it was so big back in the day because people love the idea of, I'm working now and I'm doing or taking these steps now for a better tomorrow or a better
Yeah.
future. And
Yeah.
I'm earning my afterlife, obviously. Is
Yeah, and I think as you say, it gives people purpose. It gives people a reason. I think something you touch on quite often is men in specific. We seek purpose, and without purpose, we're just existing. You know what I mean? Driving towards something, it gives us purpose, and we could say that this falls in line with setting goals and targets. I think that's very important when we're trying to achieve something. Setting small goals and targets to work towards the end goal is what's important. And I mean for me, like even with LAGFX and the business, setting small goals. I want to reach this milestone. I want to do this. I want to do that. Do you know what I mean? And setting those goals to get to the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean? To have these opportunities. So, absolutely, yeah. I think to be honest with you, it brews down to a lot of things. We could blabber on all day about personal.
I'm going to give the example. The one I gave to you that time, that diagram. Let me just pull up another.
Football one, not the football one again.
The football one. Yeah, 100%. People need to see it. People need to see it. I'm going to do it just so it's a really good analogy. It is a
I
really
want a
good
better
analogy.
drawing this time, James.
Well, I mean, I can't promise anything, unfortunately. Okay, so imagine this is our football field, right? Let's just add the. Oh, it does glitch a little bit. Because if you click, then it draws. That's why.
Oh, right. Okay. So you can just click.
Sometimes, only sometimes. I don't know. We will figure this out eventually.
It's not a bad. That's not a bad one, actually. I'll
It
give you
will be
that.
figured out.
Oh,
Okay, right. No. Okay. So, right, obviously, you've got this field, right? You've got the nets on each side. Now, what's going to happen? The net there's a bit big. Just bear with it. Just bear with it. Okay, so what's going to happen here is you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, you've got 11 people on one side. When the whistle blows, what's the objective of these 11 people?
to score the goal,
Yeah. How?
kicking the ball into the net.
Yeah, exactly. And
They
does
have a goal.
is each player the same?
No, they all have
Right.
different jobs.
They all have different positions, yeah, different jobs, right? Okay. So everybody knows what they're doing. Everyone knows what their job is. Everyone knows how they can contribute to the end goal. Everybody's working together as a unit, and everybody has that one thing to focus on to push towards.
Yeah.
As you're saying, if we now slowly go back and get rid of the goals, what do the 11 people on that field, or 22 in this example, do now? What do they do?
There's nothing to do. They
There's
have no
nothing to do. Yeah. Nobody has a job anymore because there is no purpose. There's no end goal.
end goal. Yeah.
Everybody gets bored. Everybody gets a bit lost because there's no result. Okay. There's no result to be gained. So point being, what happens if you don't have goals?
We have no purpose. There's nothing to do. We do get a bit lost and we do get bored, and there isn't
Bored.
much.
Yeah. And what happens is you end up finding silly to do to fill the gap, which is exactly what would happen if you did a live example. What people would do, they'd probably start wrestling, they'd probably start doing keepy uppies, they'd probably just start running around doing pointless stuff, okay, because they don't have that goal. And this is a prime example of what happens in real life. If you don't have that goal, you're just going to find ways to fill the gap.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
doesn't actually contribute to the goal. So the way that I see goal setting and the way it should be set is you have your one overall goal, right? Which if I say, oh, my goal is financial freedom, and most people just have that as a goal, FF, financial freedom, and leave it at that. That's my goal. That's all I need to know. rather than saying, okay, if that's my goal, what's a step I could take to get there? Financial freedom. Okay, so what I need is I need assets. And then you draw away and you say, right, this is where I need assets. Okay, and then you ask, well, how can I get to there? Okay, well, in order to get assets, I need to invest. Okay, now, well, in order to invest, what do I need? I need to research. Okay, yeah, I need to research. Cool. And I need to research on how to invest and where. Now, if I need to invest, I then also need money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, to get money, I need to get a job. In order to get a job, I need to make a CV. Yeah.
Mm.
In order to have a good CV, I need to gain my skills. And what you can do is, from one overall goal, I've now created a breakdown of each individual step. You can work from the top down and say, okay, so like I did, financial freedom, I need assets. So I need to know how to invest. I need to research how to do it. And I need money, which means I need a job, which means I need a good CV. To get a good CV, I need skills. And what you can do is take each single one of these, you can do the same thing and break it down. Okay, I need skills. How can I gain skills? You could then break that down.
Work experience, things of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And the issue is that people aren't willing to do this. Why? Because it takes time and it's boring to have to delve into your brain and your psyche to figure out what you need and how you want it. But if you want this that badly, this is minor. This is a minor process for the result. But
Absolutely.
people aren't willing to do it.
I think it is just a case of, as you say, you know, drawing a map out like that, even and just breaking it down into small goals and targets to work towards. It makes something that would be seen so challengeable. Oh my gosh, financial freedom. Do you know what I mean? So simple. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely.
Because of course it's going to look daunting at first, like just looking at this thing like, oh my God, and you're going to procrastinate. Okay. You're going to get overwhelmed because it's such a large task. So yeah, the logical thing is to break that down into small steps, because you need to know, what can I do in this minute? What can I do in this hour? What can I do in this day to contribute to that overall goal?
Yeah.
Rather than saying, what do I do over the next 5 years to get to this? Say, no, what can I do in the next hour to attain this? And you'll find yourself being a lot better with time management.
Yeah.
And a lot better with your discipline when you've got a more strict set out plan. I think what it all stems down to, as you said, it is just taking action. It is just taking action, and even in your education, because a lot of people, cool, you just didn't know how to do it. You know, you've got this goal, but you didn't know how to get there. So obviously, when we say take action, you're looking at us saying, well, how? Because I don't know what to take action on. Well, then research. Yeah.
What people need to do is probably draw a map out like you've done there, and work from step one. Do you know what I mean? And then just go for it. Take action. It all starts just with taking that first step, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because I could, obviously, I'm not going to do it on here because some of my goals are personal things that obviously I want to keep secret. But you know, I could sit down with Luke tomorrow if I wanted to and give him a full map of exactly the overall thing I want and what my steps are. I know what my steps are. That's why I'm able to be disciplined and able to take the steps, and we can both do this. And you've been able to see our progression over time. Why? Because we know what we want, we know how to get there, and we've been taking those steps on a regular basis ever since.
There are times where, you know, you might want to take a step back, and when you take these steps back, you know, I've been thinking about this recently, because, you know, those that are close to me say to me all the time, you know, it's all about balance and this, that, and the other. And, you know, I think about it and I say, well, is it really about balance? Like, and I think people are different. I think people who seek balance in life, you know, work hard and play as well. I think for me, it's just they just aren't driven enough. And I think, you know, there has been times, even in this past 6 months, where I have probably had more of a balanced life. Do you know what I mean? Rather than you know what I'm like, and you know how I can be. Do you know what I mean? I can be a workhorse and I can work all hours of the day, and just keep on going. Do you know what I mean? And I would say I have taken more of a back burner. But what I'm taking away from this is I think you need to be accountable when you do lack in that respect, because I am taking accountability for myself now. Do you know what I mean? And I think this just stems back to being motivated and having the drive to to push on. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because a lot of people will say to you, and these are people that probably don't want to see you progress, or maybe people that feel like this is what's best for you, but everyone's different. People that say that you should have balance, I think, are either not motivated in themselves, they're not driven in their own goals, they don't know what they want to do. Either that, or they just, I don't know. What would you say? Maybe
Yeah,
they
I
don't.
quite like that you brought that up. There's some very, very good points there. I've had that quite a lot of people who've come into my life and said, "Oh, you're working, you're doing too much, you're working too hard, you need more balance, you need more balance." It's because there's two things. Firstly, they're jealous. It does stem towards some jealousy where they want you to stop because they don't like the rate at which you're progressing. But secondly, because they just cannot believe a world where an individual can enjoy progress and enjoy working hard towards this delayed gratification. So they're looking at it like, well, that can't be enjoyable because I'm pretending to be this individual. I hate work. I see it as such a chore. I'd rather just stay at the same level my whole life and go out on the weekend and spend my money and then go back and get my wage to spend it the next week. That's their ideal of a good life and the life they want. So is them trying to oppose their own beliefs and opinions on you because they're viewing your life and saying, well, this doesn't add up with my beliefs and
Yeah.
my ideas on how life should be.
Mm.
And because that person's straying away from the norm, I feel quite threatened and jealous by it. And therefore, I'm going to try and drag them down. A
Yeah.
lot of what happens is imprinted quite deeply into our brains from ancestral times. And that's exactly what's going on.
Well, we could say then it's probably not their fault, but then who's taking accountability for them acting that way? Do you know what I mean? Take
Yeah.
accountability, take action, and don't be like that. Do you know what I mean? Because there's nothing that drives me more crazy. Like I still do work hard, and I don't know if this is something that I've embedded in myself, but like even when I do have a rest or I don't do as much work as I should do, best believe I make myself feel guilty about it. You know what I mean? I'll beat myself up for it for days. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just the way I am, and that's just the way I am as a person, I guess. But there are so many people around me that are like, take a break, have a day off. I don't want a day off. I'll have a day off when I've got 7 figures, 8 figures in the bank, and I'm cushy. Do you know what I mean? That's when I'll take a day off. In fact, I won't take a day off. I'll take a year off because I can. Do you know what I
Take
mean?
a
Because
lifetime off by that point.
I'm chilling later. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. Out of all of this, it's about taking action, holding yourself accountable for what you do and the things that you're doing.
I really like that word.
Set goals and challenges to overcome problems and find the motivation to keep going. Do something that you enjoy doing. Find something you enjoy doing and do it. You know what I mean?
I think that's one. I really like the fact you brought that word. I think that's one thing that's helped me truly grow as an individual is pure accountability. No matter what scenario you're in, where you want to blame somebody else or something else, as harsh and as sad as it sounds, always find a way to blame yourself first.
Yeah.
Any situation, always find a way to blame yourself first.
Yeah.
In any situation. And it will honestly, truly change your outlook. And this is something I do all the time now. But within true accountability is true growth and progression.
Yeah, well, you're kind of admitting that you're wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't like to admit that they're wrong. I know I don't, but
I know you don't.
admit when I'm wrong. I do admit when I feel truly that I've done something wrong or I'm in the wrong, I will always admit it. I will always admit it. Yeah, and I think that's ego. Do you know what I mean? But let's not just dive into. I think we could just ramble on from one thing to the next. You know what I mean? But not wanting to hold yourself accountable and not not accepting when you've
an easy way out to blame something else or someone else. I guess we're boiling this down onto each other for anyone watching. If it's a case that you do enjoy, because even for somebody taking the initiative to watch this. Not that I'm saying we're masterminds, but I'm saying it's seeing things from a different angle. It's already a showcase of your personal growth. So if you're watching this, give yourself a little pat on the back.
Oh, that's true. Very true.
That's one step towards personal growth.